Good afternoon, children. Today we will continue the brief questions of chapter 18. So let's start. First question: why did India opted for federal form of government? Explain. When I was discussing about this lesson, I told you that India is a country with diverse religion, custom, traditions. So it was very difficult to have a single unified administrative system. That's why we opted for federal form of government. So please go to the picture. Let me go through the picture of this answer. That is, your answer is in 207. Okay, here 207 page number is 207. Why did India opted for federal form of government? You will write like this, that India is a country with diverse religion, custom, traditions, lifestyle, climatic conditions, etc. That's why it is very difficult to have a single unified administrative system. So we opted for federal form of government. How you will write, children? India opted for federal form of government because India is a country with diverse religion, custom, traditions, lifestyle, climatic conditions and geographical features, and it is very difficult to have a single unified administrative setup. You can write like this. So up to here is your exact answer of D1, right? Next question is, how have the legislative powers been divided between union and state government? When I was discussing you this topic, I told you that there was a definite jurisdiction of legislative powers between union and state government. And so, not to have any type of conflict or there may be a problem of overlapping of functions, there is a definite legislative powers distribution between center and state. So come to page number 208. You will get this answer in page number 208. That is page number 208. Okay. How you will write this? That legislative powers has been divided between union and state government through 3 lists. You will mention this: union, state and concurrent list. But you have to explain here that union list consists of 97 subjects and it is of national importance, and you will give some examples, right? Then you will come to number 2. This is number 1, and number 2 you will come to state list. You will write there 66 subjects and you will write the functions there: local government, public health, etc. Write at least 2-3 examples. Then you will come to concurrent list. This is your third list, concurrent list. There you will write that it consists 52 subjects like marriage, divorce, transfer of property, etc. Okay. So this is all about answer number 2. How you will write, children? I am repeating again. You will get this answer in page number 28. Okay. First of all, you will write The legislative powers has been divided between union and state government under 3 lists. Then you will write first union list and right there explain this 97 subjects. It is of national importance and examples. Then you will write union state list. It consists of 66 with examples. And then you will come to concurrent list where you will write 52 subjects and you will give examples: marriage, divorce, transfer of property. Now we proceed to the next question. What is the next question? Describe the composition of union government in India. Describe the composition of union government in India. How you will write this? When I was discussing again this chapter, when I came across this topic, there I explained you that union government is working with the help of 3 organs: legislature, executive and judiciary. Legislature and executive are interdependent, whereas judiciary is working in an independent manner. So let's come to page number 207. In which page you will get this answer? You will get this answer in page number 207. This is page number 207. You can write in sentence also, or you can write in through this chart. You can make or form a sentence through this, or you can write as it is given in page number 207. Okay, how you will write this in sentence? Let me explain you that union government, which is called central government, or national government, comprises of 3 organs. Legislature, executive and judiciary. Then you will come to legislature, which consists of parliament, and parliament consists of 2 houses, Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. If you want to write in sentence, you can write it from here. I am just putting an underline over here. You can see from there that union legislature is called parliament, which is called Sansad, and it consists of 2 houses, Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. Either you draw this or you can write in sentence. Okay. After that, you will write the union executive comprises of president, council of ministers headed by prime minister. And the third organ, that is judiciary, it is the highest apex court is Supreme Court, which has maximum 31 judges headed by Chief Justice of India. So you can write this or you can write in sentence. In sentence also you can write from here. This is your D3 answer. Okay, write this or you can write this also. This one will be easy for you to remember. That's why I am putting stress on this, that do this one, because it will be easy for you to remember. Or you can transform this in sentence which is given here. Okay, children. Next is highlight any dissimilarities between Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha with respect to their composition? This is your question number 4. D4. Let me show you this D4 question. This is your D4 question. Dissimilarities between Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. If you remember the video where I have discussed the difference between Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, if you remember that, then you will get this answer from there also. I had given you the notes on this difference between Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. If you remember this notes, from here I have given you the differences. So let me go back to the answer where I have written in the notebook. You can see from here, this is the answer of D4, where you have to show the difference between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Difference between Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. First of all, you will write that how they are elected. Here the members are elected directly by the people, that is voters, and it is called House of People. Whereas Raj Sabha, they are elected by the elected members of state legislative assemblies, and so it is called Council of States. Next difference is maximum strength is 552, out of which 530 are directly elected by the people and 20 are elected from union territories. So 530 represents states and 20 is been represented from union territories. If we go back to Rajya Sabha, maximum strength is 250, where 230 are elected from states and 2 union territories. Next difference you can give that President nominates 2 Anglo-Indians, whereas 12 members are nominated by the President. So these are the differences between Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha with respect to its composition. Next question is, mention any 3 advantages of universal adult franchise. This is question number 5. Can you see here 3 advantages of universal adult franchise? So let's come to the answer. This is your answer. First point is, it provides opportunity to the people to actively participate in the political process of the country. Second is, it makes the people aware that they all are equal and privileged citizens. Yes, because through this right to vote, through this universal adult franchise, people feel themselves that they are the privileged sections of society. They are the privileged one. And in this way, it makes the people aware. Third one, it provides political knowledge, obviously, to whom to vote, how to use our right to vote. This is very much important for the people. So it provides political knowledge to the people, where the people can understand, can realize how to use their freedom, political freedom, and right to vote. So this is the 3 points of your question number 5. mention any 3 advantages of universal adult franchise. So children, I hope you all have understood the question answers. Please go through the video very carefully. I have given here the notes. I have given here some of the answers which is not properly given in points in the book. So I have prepared this notes and given you through this video. So please watch it carefully and note down these answers in your civics notebook and submit in your social science group so that I can see how you have written those answers. So children, please go through this and submit your homework. Okay children? Thank you.